Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Now, we are here clearly in Dokkan Battlefield, aka the Dokkan Virtual Ultimate Clash, and this is the 18th edition. And right here, this is just a blunder in team building, to be quite honest. Like, I've been going with the Ginyu Force lately in that first slot. Well, against the first opponent, that is. Simply because I'm trying to save as many possible units for Jiren, well, as possible, right? Just, he's super tough, man, and rest assured, like, he is super tough. Now, he is STR type this time around, which means that you get to use Super AGL, which is obviously super beneficial for us, right? So, you know, AGL, I mean, as we've probably heard over and over again, it is for sure the best typing in the entire game. It's got the most, you know, top tier units in the game. I mean, truly, except for the, you know, neither of the blue fusions are Super AGL, but, you know, basically the next three best units or something are like, are Super AGL. So it's really, really good. Now, this was, again, like, so right here, like, again, just like a bit of a blunder. I was not about to waste orbs on getting the Cybermen super attacks. I was going to go ahead and save those for the LR Ginyu next turn, but you can go ahead. What I accidentally did was I took Birder and Geis off of the team, off of my initial roster, and it was just an error, right? So I ended up having to use, what, two Cybermen. So it ended up working out fine. Obviously, like, we got the W, no problem at all. But if you have the LR Ginyu, just this straight up the LR Captain Ginyu, the Extreme Fizz, definitely you can just use him as a sub-lead. Now, he's not providing any ki, but he is providing HP, attack, and defense, so it's okay. It's not the end of the world because these guys share damn near every single key link. The LR, the Tech Ginyu, is providing support to the rotation, and actually the Fizz Ginyu as well, but he's only providing attack to the rotation, so... And then Nappa is just so weak that he'll just go down to anything. You know, any single competent team he's going to go down to, even -2 units. So just the way it worked out this time. Now, sort of my monthly disclaimer about this mode. So just keep in mind that new players, you are going to struggle with Dokkan Battlefield, particularly level 3. You are going to struggle with. If you do not have top tier units in your box, straight up, you're gonna struggle. It's just the way it goes. This is what we call end game content. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't try, because the rewards are crazy, right? So if you can actually complete this, you get 21 stones from rewards, but actually you get a stone per stage you complete. So you get 2 in stage 1, and then you get 3 in stage 2, so that's 5, and then you get an additional 5, so that's like 31 stones you get from running this. So that's, I mean, really solid, right? Especially when we have Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku on the horizon. So, but if you can't, you're still going to get those ever so valuable battlefield gems. And again, even if you can complete, you know, only level 1 and 2, I mean, you're still getting probably 100,000 gems or something close to that, right? I don't know exactly what it is. It might not be quite that. Even if it's only 60 or 70,000, it's still worth it. And you can just continue to save and save and save until you can get the Metal Cooler Army rainbowed, and then you can start working on Oob or the LR Mecha Frieza and King Cold. Or if you enjoy some of the other units, you know, that's all right too. But I really do enjoy the LR Metal Cooler Army. I would say right now they're probably still my favorite, even after Mecha Frieza and King Cold. I don't know, man. He's just the LR Metal Cooler Army. Like, they have this sliding scale of power where, like, the more HP you have, the more powerful you are. I think it's up to 90% attack and defense, and even on a free-to-play LR, that's really, really good. I decided to bring Buhan along here. Just a quick side note. And actually, he does some major work. You know, like, I was honestly, like, impressed with how well he did. He is getting, what, a 120%, yeah, 2 million on Battlefield is freaking crazy, man. And he's kind of, he kind of came out right before, well, he was in the midst of when they were making EZAs really good, but also, like, they did kind of hold back a little bit. defensively, he's just very weak. They're for whatever reason, they're afraid to make really strong defensive units along with healers. And you see it again with the AGL Angel SS2 Goku that was released. Well, the EZA was released. It should be releasing on Global next month. And he comes with the EZA of the STR Majin Vegeta. So it's obviously going to be a really, really nice addition to the teams they're on. But anyway, like, they're afraid to make healers really, really defensive as well. And there was our boys, the Metal Cooler Army at a 1.27 million attack stat. That's pretty good, you know, considering they're not on either category. I forget who I ran as the sub leader. I'd have to go back and check. But usually I run Cell, and then maybe I even ran Buhan as a leader. So 120% and a 100% leader. That is not terrible, right? And then here we are in the Extreme Fizz sort of portion of this. We're up against an Int Goten. Extreme Fizz, I would say they need work. There obviously are some really, really nice units on here. You know, Fizz Goku Black comes to mind, particularly on the global side of the game. He's got that increased attack stat. And then he also gives 3 ki to Extreme Class allies. So as you can see, we are just overflowing with ki here. And then we're able to get a ton of orbs for him. Obviously, his attack and defense is based on how many orbs you get. So, you know, really, really cool that we were able to get him a bunch of orbs. Cumber's really strong, especially for Super Battle Road. He's not particularly strong in Battlefield. Okay, so I guess he was able to lower attack there. So not completely, you know, worthless or anything, but... his primary ability is that he can stun the whole rotation, provided you're up against super type enemies. And it's only a 1-turn stun, but to render the whole, if you put him in the first slot, and to render the whole entire rest of the team just useless for that turn is still super strong. So oddly enough, this Goten can have his attack lowered, but not his defense lowered. So that's kind of weird. And then we have this Fizz Broly, obviously, you know, really, really good, provided he gets a super attack, which he does at 8 ki. He supers at 8 ki, so that's really, really nice. Kid Buu, one of the better support units in the game. I still really, really like him. I do need to rainbow him at some point. I think the next time he's on an EZA banner, I think I would like to go ahead and slap the rainbow star on him. I really enjoy the artificial life forms team, so that would be like beneficial to me. So he might not be a great use of coins or like you know, EZA tickets or whatever, and a lot of people probably already have him rainbowed, but you know, I just decided I think I want to. I like him a lot. He's worth the rainbow star because I do tend to run him, you know, a fair amount. Now this is by far and away the most annoying fight in all of Battlefield, in the history of Battlefield. Way more annoying than Kid Buu, way more annoying than Jiren, and it's one of the more easy, sort of laid back fights in the game, but you can't do super attacks, and I just don't like... I get what they're doing here. Like, they're trying to be a little bit cheeky, a little bit corny, a little bit, you know, quirky. Like, oh yeah, he seals the entire field, and it's like, oh wow, that's really cool, except it's really not that cool. It's really, 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 one more time, really boring, right? I hate going through, I can't imagine, like, when I came into Dokkan, it was right in the beginning. I'm trying to remember exactly when, but I do remember that it was sort of right in the beginning of the category meta. So before that, you had the monotypes, but before that, so you had, what, the 70% leads, and before that even, you had units that didn't even provide ki. So you could potentially go entire fights without super attacking. I can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine. I used to do it when I first started with my original account. It was an original, just level 1 account. It wasn't farmed. It was nothing. I just downloaded the game. I'm like, oh, this seems cool. And then, you know, that was it. The rest is history, right? Here I am making YouTube videos for all of you guys. But I just could not imagine, you know, doing that consistently, having to, you know, rely on SRs and Rs and stuff like that. Like, anyway, that's kind of here nor there. But it just, this idea of not being able to super attack is hella annoying. I would say it's equally as annoying to when they lock your rotations. I hate when they lock your rotations, because I'm very, very sort of anal about my rotations. I really, really like to keep them. I only break them up if if it is absolutely necessary for survival, and then even sometimes I don't break them up and I end up dying. So that's just, I don't know. It's just my brain is wired that way. I really, really like to optimize units when I can. Now, this is cool. This is Broly's active skill, and obviously it's a super, super awesome animation. We're going to miss out on the best, possible Broly animation in his actual super attack, but at the very least, we're getting full 24 key, so we're getting that attack boost from getting a 24 key super, and then, of course, that additional 48% that he gives himself. Now, we will not be able to get a super attack, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We're going to do enough damage. I think we're able to take him out. I actually think it's the next rotation we're able to take him out. But at the very least, yeah, 718,000 without a super attack is pretty damn good considering he gets all of his passive on a super attack. So that's why he needs to super before he's powerful, right? So he really, really benefits from super attacking. Probably not a great choice to bring, but I guess it, again, this is so easy, like it doesn't matter. And then here we are. I think we're going to be able to finish it off on this turn here with, either Tech Cell or Frieza. So, but anyway, guys, this is the most annoying fight. So I do apologize for it. It's just part of Battlefield at this point. Now, one thing I will add is if you have a unit on whatever team you're running that has an active skill, and by an active skill, I mean like an ultimate attack active skill, so, LR Cell, LR Gohan, although obviously you'd never get either of those against Babidi, or the LR Fusions when they come to Global. I mean, you guys get it, the Go Bros. You actually can perform those, provided you meet the conditions, and because he can't seal an active skill. So that is kind of one cool part of running those sort of units. So here we are. We are in Stage 3 at this point, and I will say, like, to those of you who may not be too familiar, or maybe you just don't have 112 units that are Dokkan Awakened yet, there is quite a big increase in difficulty from Stage 2 to Stage 3. So it is what it is. Like, I encounter it all the time on the JP side of the game, when I play JP, that is. At this point, I've just been logging in. I can't get into it. It's hard to grind both games. It really is. During hype times on JP, I might slip over there for a little while and neglect the global side, but I always come back to global for sure. Anyway, so if you don't have 112 Dokkan Awakened units, you might not even have enough units to make it to Stage 3. But again, just so you know, like, it is considerably more difficult. And we start here with Topo. Topo, essentially, he's got damage reduction, and he's hella tanky. Like, as you can see, he's got a bunch of health bars, and like, watch this. So this is an 888,000 attack stat, and we don't I mean, we took down we took about a third of his health bar down. And then here's Trunks. If he would give me a crit, we could easily take down a health bar, but instead, well, we could have taken down probably 2 health bars, but instead we only take down 1 health bar. It's just one of those things, right? So like, at this point, if you're not getting crits on Topo, it's just going to take you a while, essentially. It's not really that big of a deal. He shouldn't be able to do too much damage to you, especially against, I mean, geez, 30,000. Thank you. Get out of town. I decided to bring the Awakened, this Fizz Goku. So, number one, he's an orb changer, which, obviously you're going to want a lot of same type orbs when you're running mono teams. And then number two, he's really, really powerful. He actually, if you get late enough into events, he actually becomes quite a viable healer with his high defense. But I'd wager Topo, like, these units just, unless you're Jiren, like, they do not hit very hard. And this is going to be a 960,000 attack stat. Remember, we're not getting the full benefits of like a dual leader skill, and we get the additional. I think I opted to go for, I think I prioritized additionals with this Goku. Specifically, he's really useful when running, long events. The legendary Goku really comes to mind. Especially when you need to complete the missions. And I imagine that They will be, you know, introducing more missions. I really hope they just introduce a new event. I mean, like, I love that they give us missions and we can get stones and such, but give us a new event, I imagine they're working on one, because the Legendary Goku event, or Fighting Legend Goku, was a big success. That got a lot, you know, they got a lot of acclaim from the community for that. Everyone was sort of looking forward to it. I remember when there were first sort of rumblings about it. It was when Tech Trunks came out, and everyone's like, why does his passive, like, why is he stacking attack and defense for 9 turns? It just didn't really make any sense. I think it's 9 turns, and maybe it's 7 turns, but anyway, why is he stacking for such a long time? There weren't any events in the game that went for 9 turns, and then it was like, bam, then they dropped the Legendary Goku event. And then obviously they also, I believe they dropped LR Kale and Caulifla before that as well, and then I think it became crystal clear that we were going to be getting a long event where you can, you know, use these infinitely stacking units. You can see really cool transformations. You know, for instance, when, I mean, you guys can remember if you were around for last year's Saiyan Day. Literally, it was like, yeah, Blue Vegeta, so like when he transforms into Blue, like, yeah, he's really powerful, but when do you ever get to see him? Like, the STR Boo event? Like, who wants to keep running the STR Boo event? And that was the only time, really, you could ever see it. There was not another time. But anyway, guys, that was a really exciting time. I hope they come out with, you know, a Legendary Vegeta event, or, you know, a Legendary Frieza. I think it'd be really cool to do the forms of Frieza. I think that is just, you know, same thing with Cell. You could easily do Cell. Vegeta, you could do damn near the same transformations that Goku has. But maybe just provide some additional little, you know, challenge. You know, for instance, instead of not being able to lower attack, maybe he does something, you know, quirky where he, I don't know, maybe he can heal. Like, I remember before Kid Buu, as the Dokkan Battlefield boss, the big boss was a Zamasu, and he could heal. And unless you had super powerful teams, like I remember, for instance, when I first started playing, that's around the time I started playing Dokkan-ish, maybe a little before that. But like, I was watching D Monty, shout out to the boy D Monty, and he was just straight up able to out damage Zamasu, and I'm like, what in the, you know. So, but if you have a unit that can heal, I just remember it being extremely annoying. And I think even like when we fight STR Fat Boo, like, he can heal, and it can be mildly annoying, but again, if you can out damage him, it's not a big deal. Same thing with, you know, the Kid Buu that you fought in the last couple seasons of Battlefield. But I don't know, they could definitely do something cool, and obviously they're paying their employees to come up with shit like that. So I mean, they're not paying me to do it. So if I sat down and really thought about it, I guess I could come up with something better. But, you know, anyway, but like, I remember that being extremely annoying, and when you're not able to out damage, and you have to find other strategies. So the strategy at that point was you could seal him, and that was, or no, you could stun him. And that was critical, right? So him not being able to, you know, him just being useless the rest of the turn, right? That was huge. But anyway, I would really like to see a new, you know, quote, legendary event. I guess they do some sort of quirky things in the Infinite Dragon Ball history. Like, I know some of the enemies, like, they'll lock you in place. They'll seal one of your allies and stuff like that. So like, I guess they're sort of already doing it. And Infinite Dragon Ball history is cool. They're able to hit on like a lot of different time periods in the series, so that's really nice. Like, I do like Infinite Dragon Ball history, but I think that a lot of those events, until the 6-year ones, or the 5-year ones, the 5-year Infinite Dragon Ball history, particularly that last one, Stage 6, that one's quite challenging. But all of the other ones leading up to it are not a big challenge, and I think a lot of older players, that's a lot of their complaints, is a lot of this material isn't overly challenging. Now, obviously, if you're a new player, it can be overwhelming with the amount of shit you can do in this game. You know, everything from grinding rank and grinding Zenny to doing Super Battle Road, and right now there are 30 are there 30 stages of Super Battle Road, something like that. So, you know, there can be a lot to do if you're a new player, but, you know, for us older players who've been playing, you know, 2, 3, 4, or even close to 5 years now, You know, you do sort of run out of things to do, and it sort of deters you from playing the game. So, you know, I understand what they're doing with sort of trickling in the content, but at the same time, they could maybe turn it to like a steady stream of stuff instead of just sprinkle it in here, sprinkle it in there, you know, whenever they feel like. I feel like they should be giving it to us a little bit more often, just to keep us engaged, because it's like, you know, you summon on a banner. They're making these, they're making a lot of the game just really banner heavy. Like, oh yeah, look at this shiny new unit that you have to summon for. And oh, hey, if you don't get them with free-to-play stones, guess you'll have to spend money on them. And it's like, well, that's great, except for people who don't spend money on the game. And then that doesn't really leave them with anything to do. So, you know, the one that comes to mind is this previous Saiyan Day. No easy A's. JP, they got Extreme Super Battle Road. We literally got nothing. We got nothing. We got the meat item. Oh, great. It's not even time for World Tournament. I haven't even used... I think I've used one of them just to see kind of how it worked. But, you know, I'm not using them at a very fast pace. It's not like a really big impact on the game. I guess save a stone here and there, but, you know, who really cares, right? No one's, you know, draining through 10 stamina bars a game. I guess, you know, the real addicts, the real, you know, players, maybe. But it's like, unless you're running a World Tournament, there's just not really a point to using those things. But I think it'll be a complaint just moving forward, because at this point, like, I've been playing the game for several years now, and probably going on 3 years, I guess. I've been playing the game, and it's always been a problem. It's always been a problem where there are these periods of time where there's just absolutely nothing to do. And then luckily we get, like, Battlefield once a month. You know, even if I spaced that out, even if I only ran this one time a week, which I usually end up running it about every other day, so it lasts, it's about a week's worth of content for me. I grind Zenny, and I've been starting to grind a little bit more rank and a little bit more, incredible gems and stuff, but at a certain point, I mean, that shit just gets boring. I'll just go do something else. So I think it's going to be important for them moving forward to make sure that number one, both games are happy, both sides, Global and JP, because globally, you know, they do make a lot of money from Global. It's just, it's not quite as much as JP. You know, they definitely know where their bread is buttered in that regard. But I think that that's going to be really, really good for them moving forward, like for the life of the game, is making sure that there's stuff to do. You know, having challenging content, even for the whales. Like, when are they going to make an event that's just like how long can you go? You know, like, you're given 8 items and the opponent just keeps getting harder and harder and harder and harder until you can't beat them anymore, or until you run out of items. Like, when are they going to make an event like that? When are they going to revamp the World Tournament? And it's like, you come out with LR Krillin, and it's like you've literally just made a brand new, the newest LR on the JP side of the game is built for the old school style of World Tournament, which is just like, it's just indicative to me that they have no intention of ever revamping the World Tournament. What are they going to wait till number 50? You know, in 3 years from now? It's like, dude, just revamp it. I've given several ideas of how to do it. It's so easy. If you get rid of the worst parts of the World Tournament, so what I would call the worst parts of the World Tournament are the preliminary round is horrible. It's you just chasing the AI around the board, or they're chasing you around the board. That's not fun. You know, also building up to times 30 XP. That's boring, because you're just blitzing through the World Tournament at that point, and it's not even a challenge at all. You don't even have to try. And then also, once the tournament actually starts, actually just, you know, running around the board is just not fun. You know what I mean? It was just like when they had those story events and Dokkan events, you know, from yesteryear, and the board literally took you like 5 minutes to beat the level because the board was so fucking long. It's like, no one likes that. I'm happy they have since amended that, but they need to keep those things in mind. Like, dude, no one likes running that. But here we are already on Jiren. And I can just tell you straight up, yeah, Jiren's a pain in the ass, dude. God, he's a pain in the ass. I get so horribly unlucky. Like, what I realistically should have done right here is I should have let off with Tapion. I don't know what I was thinking. Tapion gets damage reduction, and that's obviously, you know, monumental for a dude who lowers your defense, because it doesn't matter if your defense is lowered a whole lot if you're getting 50% damage reduction. So it was just a clear blunder, because there's Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta getting just sandblasted for 23k, gets his defense lowered, taking 35k on normals, and all of a sudden we're below half health on the very first turn. And it just goes to show, like, you can't mess up at all against Jiren. And this is why I bring two teams. Always. I will always bring two teams. I am going to make another video when I end up doing another run through Battlefield to see if we can beat him on the first try. Because I know that there's a way. Like, I have a good box. Like, I know I can do it. I've gotten so horribly unlucky. I mean, just like with the way he supers. And then when he attacks one unit in that first slot, it's either going to be really, really good for you because you have a defensive stud, or it's going to be really, really bad for you because you got completely fucked on your rotations. Sorry, man. Jiren is just bringing out the worst in me, man. He's super, super annoying if you haven't figured that out yet. And actually, we're able to show off the new AGL Super Vegito. He's obviously an absolute stud muffin in this event, provided he doesn't get super attacked. Even with his 40% defense, because he's not greatly raising his defense like the Fizz Vegito Blue, you still don't want him to get super attacked. And like, we do 1,000,000 on a crit counter there, but Jiren's got so much health that it just 1,000,000 is nothing. You know, that's nothing to us. And then luckily, this Kaioken Blue Goku, he's getting both parts of the leader skill. So, you know, he was able to do really, really nice damage. And then there's my poor LR Gohan with no dupes. He does some really, really nice damage there, and he stacked up his defense, but also took 143k. So right now, I put the Dodge Queen out in front. I'm pretty confident that she's going to be able to dodge at least one of these. Dodge this first attack. I think she'll be able to dodge this first attack. And then she can go ahead and super attack and then get the attack lower. So she has a high chance to dodge. Plus, I gave her full dodge in the potential system, and she gets hit. So, great. So it's just, again, I got very, very unlucky, and I'm not making excuses. It happens that way sometimes, right? So luckily I brought an Extreme AGL team, and actually I brought enough to bring another Super Tech team, or Super AGL team if I have to. And then I always struggle with Extreme AGL of who I should bring as the secondary, the sub lead. Probably I should have done Super 17, but, you know, whatever. It ended up working out fine. We have a roster full of super strong units here. LR Baby is definitely really, really strong. Unfortunately, he's in the 7th damn slot. Like, again, you're just like, you can't make this up, man. You just, it's not like an old fisherman story. We're like, oh yeah, you know, you guys know the fish stories I'm talking about. You know, I caught the 20-pound bass when in reality it was 5 pounds or whatever. You know, like, I can't make this up. It's here on video. Like, how is this possible? Every single effing time I face Jiren, I get very, very unlucky. But it doesn't matter. That's why you bring multiple teams against him. He also can have his defense lowered, so that is something important to remember. If you get his defense lowered enough, you can actually do significant damage to him. So, you know, we're able to do 1,000,000 damage there. Now, Broly did build up his defense there by supering, but he still took 163k. And then here's Majin Vegeta, you know, doing what Majin Vegeta does, doing insane damage. He just did 2.3 million damage without a crit. If he would have crit, we would have took down that whole entire green health bar. And now this is the trump card. And then if we would have made it beyond this turn, we have another trump card in LR Baby. So that is the nice thing about if you bring Extreme AGL against Jiren. Honestly, I'd probably run Extreme AGL just straight up. If you have both of those units, I think that they are the clear choice. I would definitely run Extreme AGL because of this Metal Cooler transformation. He's going to do a lot of damage for you. And it's free damage, right? And you're invincible. It's the way to go, I think. Super AGL is obviously like a super strong team. It's the strongest typing by far in the game. Super Tech's pretty good. Super STR is pretty good as well. But, you know, nothing really is really going to compare. But the reason why you'd want to run Extreme AGL is, as I just said, right? So the transformations are just going to be really, really clutch for you. And then, you know, if we're able to super essentially one time with AGL Metal Cooler, we're going to get the dub. And indeed, we do get the dub. Jiren is defeated after this super attack. Guys, he's super annoying. If you can't beat Jiren at this point, you know, don't be, you know, super upset about it, because he is a pain in the ass. He's a serious pain in the ass. And then before we go, I actually decided to go ahead and pick up the rewards just to kind of show you guys like the amount of rewards you get. And then this doesn't even count all of the battlefield gems we got as well. I mean, we're roughly getting, I don't know, 200 and I think it's about 220,000. So like, look at the rewards we get. 32 rewards in the box, including 21 Dragon Stones, 3 Elder Kais, a couple Sleepy Kais, some Z Swords. But that's the video, guys. Slap a like if you enjoyed it. Catch you in the next one. Later.